Welcome back, NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me to another episode of Metal with Nick. Today we have something very interesting. I'm very intrigued by this. I can't wait to explore this because, as you know, I guess I've been very vocal about I'm a huge Yngwie Malmsteen fan. I mean, I used to be actually when I was younger, because I guess I was never I never got into Rainbow. I guess I was too young at the time. There was no exposure. You couldn't really get the CDs, but I did get one CD. I think from my mom. My mom bought me the Rising Force CD of Yngwie Malmsteen, and also Passion and Warfare by Steve Vai, and I was just hooked with those two. And I thought they were the best guitar players in the world. I didn't know any other. Other players. I didn't know about Richie Blackmore. I didn't know about Ole John Roth, Tony McAlpine, Vinnie Moore, and all these other great, amazing players that were also playing at the same time. Greg Howe, Richie Kotzen, Jason Becker. I found out about all these later. So I was just very, basically enamored with that style, neoclassical and super fast, and I was just crazy about that stuff. And then when you get older, you kind of listen to other players, and you recognize, well, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, I actually for example, Randy Rhoads I discovered way later after Yngwie Malmsteen. So it's not like you guys that you kind of you got your Gary Moore, and you got your Richie Blackmore, and you got your Hendrix, and then you kind of and there's new players coming out, and then you kind of know how to appreciate that more. I just got thrown into the whole shredding thing. It was already established. It was already a thing. Like in 94 or something, 95, when I started really listening to music for real, Before that, I was listening to Nirvana and Guns N' Roses and stuff, and I didn't really know, and I would skip solos, and as a child. So I'm really happy that today I'm gonna do this is for Narvik. Thank you so much, Narvik, for letting me explore this on the channel. I mean, I could also do this in private, but we do kind of like Alex and I, we do deprive ourselves a little bit of listening to music because we would like to get it on tape and react to it. But today I'm going to do for Narvik from Steeler. So that's basically, so I do know Yngwie Malmsteen in Alcatraz. I've heard it before. That's when he was, I think, for my taste, the best. He unfortunately did lose a lot of technique during the years. But he also had a very bad accident that where he broke his hands, and he was in a coma, and it kind of affected his nerves, and he had to learn all over again. So that's kind of also a lot of people overlook that because they say that his playing is not as clean anymore. I guess I must agree, but still fantastic. But I mean, Steeler is the first band. This is when he came over from Sweden, he got hired to be in this band called Steeler. And so I've never heard a Steeler song. It was just super hard to get. And I know I have all this music now available here on Spotify, but I was never really curious to look that far ahead when I guess he was 16 years old. So I'm sure this is going to be amazing. But I'm just not as big of a fan anymore to pursue that and listen to just everything by Yngwie Malmsteen. I listened to the first 7 records, and I had those for years, and I had all the sheet music, and I learned a lot of it too. And then Alcatraz, of course, was also amazing with Graham Bonnet, which is now that I know he's from Rainbow, and that makes so much sense because I have heard Lost in Hollywood, but the Alcatraz version, because I think that he composed that, and I think Since You Were Gone, and that's another Rainbow song that I just figured out. So I thought that was all Alcatraz original material. So let's, with further ado, let's go into this. So this is from the band Steeler, like I mentioned, 1983. So yeah, this is basically after this he released. So he must have been in Alcatraz just a year or so, released 2 records, and then he did his own record, because in 1983 he also released Rising Force, his solo album that has only 2 tracks that are being sung by Jeff Scott Soto. So let's get into it. So this song that Narvik requested is called, see, I have it all written down. You have my own little system. Hot on Your Heels. All right, cool. So let's go with Hot on Your Heels. I can't wait. I really want to know what he does. I mean, I'm sure he plays the same and he's just amazing, but I've never heard him in this band. So let's give it up for Steeler. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you, Narvik, for the request. Sounds more like Al Di Meola right now. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so before we begin, before the song takes off with the I'm sure there's going to be some singing or something, but guys, like, we have to be realistic here, because I know I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this, but I'm a fanboy. I'm an Yngwie fanboy, and he just like single-handedly like destroyed like most of the guitar players at the time, because that's what my argument is, that and take the distortion away. At the beginning of the song, he had no distortion. It sounded exactly the same. Clean as a whistle, or I don't know how you say it, but amazingly clean. And then you put on the distortion and he just rips it, and there's not too much distortion. I know about distortion. This distortion is like a light distortion. It's slightly distorted. It's not like over dry. I mean, it's not like Metallica or what other guys use to solo. This is a very, it is distortion, yes, but it's not it's not more than Richie Blackmore used to use. So when they say, oh, he uses too much distortion to like mask his playing, come on, he is just amazing. And you can't, I'm sorry, but Randy Rhoads did not play like this. I mean, he did not. It's just like, oh, maybe he did and I haven't heard it. I only have heard him on a couple of Aussie tracks. I've never heard him that much that I can compare. I know he was a monster, but he did not play those licks that he was playing right there. Those nobody was playing like that. Maybe Aldi Meola was playing like that at the time, and Alan Holdsworth, but those are the only few that I know. Maybe even Randy Rhoads. Let's give him, maybe I'm an idiot and I don't know. But Van Halen, look, the tapping that he was doing there, he was doing his own little eruption there. That was just like amazing. And Van Halen was not as like, he could not play. I mean, maybe he could, but he didn't. I never heard him play that stuff, like those scales he was doing. And I know I'm going to get a lot of shit, but I don't care because I'm a guitar player myself, so I know, but maybe I haven't heard enough. But I mean, I just hate to compare, even though I'm comparing, but I just want to make it clear. This guy was on another level, and a lot of people are in denial, and I just don't understand. He is just a monster. I mean, just listen to it again. Maybe you hate him, maybe he's like, oh, there's no substance, it's only fast. But I mean, you could also say it about Paganini or I don't know, other players, who are fast. Sorry, that's just my opinion. But I mean, I could be wrong. But I just love the guy. I know. Oh, is that? My God, that's Marley behind me. I was like, what is he? Is somebody in the room? Yeah, I mean, I've heard some stories about him that he was very dickish when he was younger, which is now completely different. I've seen some videos and he's like the nicest guy. I guess he grew up, and but I mean, just the playing is just phenomenal. I mean, it's just crazy. So let's go back a little bit. Let's hear that again, and let's see what else the song has to offer. I've heard him done that before live. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, who was doing those arpeggios at the time? No one. No one. Nobody was playing those arpeggios. And yeah, I just like you know, I'm gonna stick to my opinion, and that's why we have the comment section for. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. Let's keep it civil, guys, because it's just an opinion of mine. I think that Yngwie Malmsteen was because he really sounds very different now, and he lost a lot of his ability throughout the years. But I think at that time he was just unmatched, unrivaled. He was the king of shred. And I mean, just listen to those arpeggios, that preciseness, the speed, the vibrato. His vibrato is freaking unmatched. I have never heard. The only person that plays vibrato, I don't know. I mean, bending is a little bit different, but just the vibrato is just insane on that scalloped guitar. So I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion, guys. I'm not saying that anybody that I mentioned is like less than him or not as good. They might even be much more successful because Yngwie Malmsteen, of course, was very like non-commercial. I mean, his guitar approach and sound, and a guy that's constantly playing fast, of course, is not gonna catch the attention of someone who comes up with all these amazing compositions like Eddie Van Halen, who has amazing compositional skills, like along with his guitar skills. But I mean, the stuff he wrote, Van Halen, Jesus, second to, I mean, amazing, just amazing tunes. Also, Randy wrote amazing. I mean, Crazy Train, for example. Crazy Train is so famous. I mean, give me a song from Yngwie Malmsteen that's like that famous. Doesn't exist. But I mean, do you have to give it to him that technique-wise, when it comes to solo playing on the guitar, the lead guitar, he was just the king for a lot of time. And he was so young. He was just 16 years old doing this. Like, I mean, my hat goes off to him. But enough about comparing guitars. I think every musician is special. Every musician brings their own thing to the table. I'm just a fanboy, so you know, I might not be right. Maybe I'm biased, you know, because he basically, when I heard this, I was like, I want to play guitar, you know? And then I heard all the other ones. So I didn't even know about Eddie Van Halen when I heard him first. So I might be biased. It might be nostalgia. So, but you can kick my butt in the comment section. It's all good. It's all fun and games, you know? Let's just keep it civil. Let's be respectful of each other, because I know when people talk about guitar players, it gets kind of like spicy, and everybody's guitar hero is their best, you know. So that's the thing, and I understand. So guys, if you're new to the channel, let us know. You know, give us a like, give us a dislike if you didn't like the content. You can subscribe to the channel. My wife and I, we do a lot of reaction videos. We don't do a lot of Yngwie. I mean, this is like the third time I showed her some Yngwie Malmsteen singing, some instrumental, and this would be the third one by myself. But yeah, if you like the content, give us a subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. We do cover a lot of bands, from Rush to Dream Theater to Metallica and Iron Maiden, and a lot of metal, but also a lot of jazz, progressive rock, and everything in between. So again, Narvik, thank you so much for this request. This was really something that I needed to, you know, to pump me up to get back to studying on the guitar. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.